Up next is the App of the Week segment. This is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your App of the Week. Well, now let's move on to our next segment. And this week we're talking about the App of the Week. And for this week's App of the Week, I demonstrate a little Bible app called 1Cross. Hi, we continue now with our App of the Week series. And for episode 236 App of the Week, this is demonstrating a Bible app called 1Cross. For today's demonstration, I'll be utilizing my Pixel 9 Pro XL and running Android 16 QPR1 Beta 2 with TalkBack 16.0. I am on the play page of 1Cross and will navigate now to the About so we can hear the description, and then I'll come back, tap on that install, and get started. Here is that description.
About this app. Heading: Google Play Store. 1Cross. Details: an evangelistic tool designed to share the gospel in multiple languages. The 1Cross app is an evangelistic tool designed to share the message of the gospel in multiple languages through video-audio presentations. You will also find other evangelism resources and a devotion that is a 9-week journey to cultivating a heart for evangelism. The 1Cross app was developed with the Subsplash platform. App info. Version 6.14.1. Updated on May 5, 2025. Downloads: 5,000 plus downloads. Download size: 31.66 megabytes. Required OS: Android 7.0 and up. Offered by Subsplash Inc. Released on February 6, 2013.
And that's both the description and the app history. I can't believe it only has 5,000 installs and it's been there since 2013. I'll now navigate my way though to the installation page and let's tap on Install.
Play Store button. Learn more about button. Install. Verified by Play Protect. Progress bar. 1Cross. 1%. Navigate up. Button. Installing. Installing. Button. Open.
We're done with the installation and now sitting on that open button, I'll go ahead and tap here to open and get started.
1Cross. Bar search. Access your account, play history, notes and more. Access your account, play history, notes and more. Showing items 1 to 5 of 5.
We're now in the menu UI of the app and it's talking about logging in. In other words, if you want to keep your progress and basically keep a record of your progress and all of that and notes and all of that, then it demands an account so you can sign in and have those things saved to your account. However, this demonstration is not necessarily intended on doing that, but simply showing the UI of the app and what it contains and all of that and how to go about using it. As always, I start from the very top to see what we have and then move my way toward the bottom and then see the items that are worth talking about. I'll now start by exploring near the top. Starting from the top left, we don't hear anything there. No buttons there. Moving toward the right, however, we've got a couple buttons. The first button that we encounter is the one that says
Bar search.
And on the top right corner, we hear
Person circle.
And that's what we have there. That's the last button there. Now, working our way down, here's what we got.
Welcome video. 3 of 5. Enlist 5 items.
We come across welcome video. In other words, if you tap here, you're going to hear the welcome. I do not want to play that because I'm not sure if Google is going to flag us for copyright, so I'm not going to even attempt doing that. Moving on down.
Search by region. 4 of 5.
We come across search by region. Next.
Search A to Z. 5 of 5.
And now toward the bottom, we have some tabs. Starting from the bottom left, here are the tabs we encounter.
Tab. Testimonies. Selected 1 of 5 in list 5 items.
So by default, testimonies is selected. Moving to the right, next tab is
Tab Bible 2 of 5.
In other words, you can tab here to read the Bible, and we'll take a look at that when we come back to it. It has a few versions, some of the prominent ones. Next,
Tab Resources 3 of 5.
we have resources in here. You can find lots of resources, biblical resources that you can use and also be able to download. Next,
Tab Espanol 4 of 5.
of course, if you like Espanol, or if you speak Espanol, for example, and you want to read things in Espanol instead, or whatever resources are there available in the Espanol language, you tap here to access that. And the last tab on the bottom right
Tab Contact Us 5 of 5.
is the Contact Us. Let's go back, though, to the top right corner and look at that button that says
Person Circle Window 1Cross.
I'll tap here.
1Cross Bar Back Android.
Of course, we're landed on the back button there on the top left corner of the phone. And if you're a swiper, you could just swipe. I like to explore, so I now move my finger down.
1Cross Log in or sign up.
We have the login or sign up. Moving on down,
This device.
we have this device, and it's like a header. And below that,
Notifications. Inbox. Access your notifications. Arrow right.
next,
Notes. Notes. Access your notes. Arrow right.
next.
Download. Downloads. Access your downloads. Arrow
This
right.
is where you can find your downloads. Moving on,
App settings.
we come across app settings, and it's a heading, and below that heading we've got
Push notification. Notifications. Manage notification preferences. Arrow right.
next,
Notes. Terms of use. Subsplash terms of use. Arrow right.
next,
Key. Privacy policy. Subsplash privacy policy. Arrow right.
next,
Copyright. Copyrights. Copyright information. Arrow right.
next,
Info.
next,
About.
next,
App version 6.1 4.1.
next.
More.
And more is like a heading, and below that,
Share Android. Share 1Cross app. Get a link to share the app. Arrow right.
next,
Chat. Feedback. Provide feedback on the app. Arrow right.
next,
Help. Help. Get technical support. Arrow right.
and the last item,
Subsplash logo. Copyright 2025 Subsplash Inc.
and that's the last item in this menu. I'll now move my way back to the menu UI.
1Cross. Person circle.
Now let's go ahead and look at some of the tabs at the bottom. Of course, I'm going to look at the Bible tab. And by default, I said the testimony is selected by default. I'm going to look at the second tab, and that would be the Bible tab.
Tab. Bible. 2 of 5 in list 5 items.
And tapping.
Bible. Selected. Page 2 of 5. Swipe left to read the next chapter. Okay, got it. Out of list.
All right, let's look at what we have.
1 In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. 2 Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness.
So it places us in the book of Genesis. And now that we're in the Bible itself, we have some buttons and controls appearing above those tabs at the bottom. Starting from above that testimony tab, the first item, or first button we come across is
Genesis 1 close.
it says Genesis 1 close. Now, in other words, if I tap here, I should be able to go and pick up verses or chapters rather that I would like to start with. I'll show you an example by tapping here.
Genesis.
We have Genesis as a heading, and below that,
1,
that's chapter 1, moving to the right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You got the drift, so you can just tap on the chapter that you want. Now I'm going to go back.
1Cross. Genesis 1 close.
So we're still in that Genesis, and moving to the right,
Play.
we have the play. In other words, if you tap here, you're going to be hearing the audio version of the Bible. Now moving to the right.
Calendar, plan.
This is a calendar, so if you sign up or you sign in, then you can see how you're working through the Bible and all of that. And then moving to the right.
NIV close.
We heard NIV close. That's the NIV. So in other words, if I tap here, though, I'll be interacting or choosing from the versions that are available. I'll go ahead and tap.
1Cross on top, ASV on bottom. Close. ASV, American Standard Version.
So the first thing we heard was ASV, American Standard Version. Moving down.
ESV, English Standard Version.
Next.
NIV, New International Version.
Next.
NLT, New Living Translation.
Next.
KJV, King James Version.
Next.
RVA, Reina Valera Antigua.
Next.
NKJV, New King James Version.
Well, you get the drift. So, for example, if I decided to choose the New King James Version, I simply tap here.
1Cross, NIV close.
And now, if I touch the area that said NIV, it should say NKJV.
NKJV close.
And moving my finger to the top.
The history of creation.
There we go.
1 In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. 2 The earth was without form and void, and darkness.
And the one thing I like about it is that actually it scrolls, so whether you're using a Braille device or you're doing a read all, but that's how it works. I'll now go back.
1Cross. Tab. Resources. 3 of 5. Enlist 5 items.
And before I bring this to a close, let me quickly talk about the Testimony tab.
Tab. Testimonies. Selected.
So if you go in here, for example, you can see all the different testimonies from different regions of the world.
Welcome video. 3 of 5. Enlist 5 items.
And moving down.
Search by region. 4 of 5.
So if you go here by region, you're going to see what regions people are talking from. For example, if I tap here.
1Cross. Button. Navigate back. Out of list. Showing items 1 to 7 of 10.
We got
Americas. Row 2, column 1 in grid. 6 rows, 2 columns.
To the right.
Central Asian. Column 2.
And on the left below the Americas.
East Asian. Row 3, column 1.
And to the right of that.
European. Column 2.
And then below East Asian.
Middle East. Row 4.
And to the right of that.
North African. Column 2.
And below Middle East.
Showing item. South Asian. Row 5, column 1.
And to the right of that.
Southeast Asian. Column 2.
And
showing
below,
items 4 to 10. Sub-Saharan African. Row 6, column 1.
And
showing
that's
items
the
4 to
last
10 of 10.
item. So what happens is that if you tap on any of these, you'll see some of the testimonies from those regions. And they're basically either video or audio, and you choose which one you want to listen to or the one you want to watch. So either you want to watch the video or you want to listen to the audio. And that would conclude the short demonstration of the 1Cross app. Of course, don't forget that in the resources, though, you'll have lots of materials and all of that. I hope that you find it something that you would like to use, and thanks for listening. And that's a demonstration there of 1Cross. And I actually find it to be very nice, most especially the text, when you're reading the text of the Bible. So if you like another Bible app, that would be another one to look at. Doesn't have a lot of versions, but at least some of the prominent ones are in there.